LoveYa Okayest Fam. Welcome to the podcast where it's okay to embrace the chaos, celebrate the wins, and laugh at the mishaps while navigating the wild ride of marriage, parenting, and everything in between with humor, honesty, and a healthy dose of humility. And of course, the more than occasional bad joke. Join us being perfectly okay with being the okayest. The Okayest Husbands Podcast with your hosts, Christian, Nick, and Noah.
Absolutely. And remember, if you want to stay connected with us beyond these podcasts, check us out on our social media platforms. You can find us on X, Instagram, TikTok, and the old Facebook for behind-the-scenes shenanigans.
And whenever you got those burning questions, fan mail, or just want to shoot the breeze like Catfish always does every week, drop us an email at theokayesthusbands@gmail.com. We promise to reply faster than you can say, this podcast is the okayest.
But as you're getting to our podcast, don't forget to give us a subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast fix. It's like giving us a virtual high five, but it's 5 stars.
Podcast.
Yeah, boys, you said it. In today's episode, we're diving into the world of what-if questions, specifically exploring the scenarios and uncertainty that arise when you're married with kids. We'll ponder the hypothetical, share personal anecdotes, and perhaps even stumble upon some nuggets of wisdom along the way. Join us as we embark in a lighthearted yet thoughtful-provoking exploration of what-ifs of family life.
Those better be dino nuggets.
That's a big thing right now. Dino nuggets?
They've been out forever, though. I remember
They
when
have been.
my cousin Brandon was little, that's all he ate was dino nuggets.
He's still little.
When he was young.
Well, I found a bunch of what-ifs online from a bunch of different web pages. I'm not going to cite them all. I kind of pulled together some of my favorites just to kind of quiz you guys on them. Think about this as like, I wasn't sure what the right number was, but think about it like this. Not life-changing number, but a significant number, if that makes sense. So what if you suddenly won, say, $50,000 to $100,000? Not life-changing.
Oh, heck, anything over 100,000 would be
I mean,
life-changing.
you couldn't quit working for 100,000.
Couldn't?
I mean, I look at it right now as I would get the car I really want
Oh, okay.
rather than picking something that is just we can afford.
Because your car is just being passed to your daughter.
Correct.
So Leah gets your vehicle, and you'd be able to get what you really want.
Yeah.
Which is what?
Pick whatever I want rather than some kind of SUV or maybe even a pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pickup truck is what I'd ultimately want, but I'm going to go with an SUV for better gas mileage and cheaper cost.
Okay.
Right now, they're about the same. They really are. You could probably go diesel with an extended cab and you'd be fine.
I mean, everything I was looking at was a crew cab when I was looking at trucks, and trucks are really expensive compared to SUVs. I'm not getting anything new, so.
Well, there's actually the used market's really not too bad either.
So that's what you do as well? You go get a vehicle that you wanted?
Well,
He'd
if
get
it's
the
around,
camper he talked about a couple of weeks ago.
well, yeah, if it was around 100,000, I would just be paying off bills. Then everything we bring in is just stuff we can just start working on other stuff in the house, or medical bills and school bills and cars and house.
What do you think you'd have left? To say it was 100,000, what would you have left after paying off your debt?
That'd be gone.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You have $100,000 in debt?
Well, still looking at our house. Our house we've only been paying on for about 13 years, maybe 15 years. See, I thought you were going to talk about numbers like what's your number that, you could go against, like chickens or something, and how many could you defeat before you finally go down?
How many kindergartners could you beat up?
I
And
love this one. Did you
I
watch
did watch that
the
one,
other?
yeah.
That's what I thought you were really going with then this episode.
Well,
Starting with,
I was trying to hit some things that actually hit home, but we could totally talk about that because I would love to break down how many kindergartners I could beat up, and they're releasing 5 every 5 minutes. Isn't that what they were doing? Like,
Yes. but
and you have to knock them out for them to be eliminated. They have to go unconscious.
I could
and
go
then
like
they're-
2 rounds, I think.
See, I'm trying to figure out, can I pick a kid up and use it as a weapon
Oh, yeah.
against
Then
the
why
other
not?
kids? But as soon as I hit one and they hit heads,
They're gonna
that
both
one
be out.
disappears out of my hands.
Yeah. I think if they're only releasing 5 every 30 seconds, I think I could take out over 100.
I couldn't. There's no way.
Just
No way.
My cardio's not good enough to do
no.
that.
I don't
I
know.
got 2 rounds, maybe.
I mean, we're never going to find out. But
No.
At least not without going to jail for a very, very long time. But back to the question,
to go back.
The 50 to 100,000. Let's go 100,000. I couldn't quit working at 100,000.
No.
I have too much debt to be able to quit working. You would get a car. You would just pay off debt. You would just try and get back to even.
Well, and that's the thing is about the only debt we have is our house.
Yeah. So I think what I would do is first, I would say, let's do one of our dream vacations. Let's pick one of them, whether it's a family vacation or an Emily and I vacation, because we've talked about going to Ireland and Scotland. If you're looking at $100,000, that's not much of that.
No. Well, now that I didn't even think of it that way. I probably would pick up a new camper and a new vehicle then, too.
The rest of it, it would be, since it's not life-changing money, I'd want to probably take some and be able to make it grow somehow by putting into some sort of retirement plan or some sort of something, and then pay off a lot of debt. Like, get rid of credit cards. I would love to get credit cards out of my life.
Yeah. Like, we really don't do anything with those, so we're fine there, but I would probably, what was it? If I had about $250,000, that I would then use to probably help my one brother start his business he wants to start. So he wants me to do estimates. That's what he wants me to do at his company.
Oh, all right. Do you know what all that shit's worth?
Yeah, you can. It's easy to look. They have programs and crap for that
really?
stuff. Yeah, you can.
You could name it something cool like the estimator meter man.
Yeah.
What do you do? I'm an estimator meter man. Get what? What? I think you got to get drunk to say it.
And his last name's Richard, so it's going to be Richard Repair. So then we're going to be making dick repairs all over the place.
Perfect. All right, another what if for you boys. What if your child decided to pursue an unconventional career like porn?
Actually, the other day, my daughter said she was going to be a stripper.
I would say that's unconventional.
Her mom wasn't real happy, and I told her, "Don't ruin my fun times."
What does that mean?
I don't want to come in and see you there.
Right.
Oh, okay. So I need to be clear where you're working.
Right.
Look at how many people do it now, though. Like on OnlyFans.
That's true.
Right. I mean,
that is true.
Like, if you would have said something about this 5-10 years ago, but I think it would have been different because OnlyFans was just kicking off. I mean, took off like crazy during COVID.
Right.
Kind of like this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen, brother.
Took off just during COVID and hasn't looked back. But I mean, how many people do that as a second income at this point right now? So
you're not wrong.
I mean, or even social media. I mean,
so it's definitely more acceptable in society. I think where that really becomes awkward is when you become a parent. So all these girls and guys that are doing this wild shit, someday somebody's going to pull up images of their parents doing this wild shit online and be like, look what I found of your mom and dad. And then they're going to have to see things they didn't want to see, like Ian. He might have walked in last night on Emily and I.
You guys don't lock your door?
Usually we do. Evidently, I forgot last evening to make sure the door was locked up. What about you, AA Ron? What would you do if one of your kids pursued an unconventional career like porn
or walked in on you guys?
I got 3 boys. I'm fine with it.
I guess
I think that's a little difference too.
It is.
Yeah, there is something about unconventional for she, he, hims than there is for the she, hers.
And if you're looking at it, where's he going to be doing this at? More than likely, he's going to be in Florida or California. So
yeah, somewhere nice to go vacation.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
just a win-win for you.
All right. Are there any other unconventional careers you wouldn't want your kids to have?
Teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is they call what I do.
I will totally persuade them away from that.
Isn't that one of the things Dad told us when we were growing up?
Yeah.
Either you go into drafting, I'll kick your ass. Eh?
Something like that.
Finally got to a point where it was like, you couldn't kick my ass. But
not unconventional. It might be unconventional here soon because I bet AI is going to be able to do drafting before long, if not already.
It seems weird because you look at all this AI stuff that's happening right now, and it keeps beating itself down.
Seems like every job's going to be taken over.
All right, what if your family unexpectedly had to relocate to a different country?
What country are we talking about?
Well, let's talk about that.
Are we going to Canada? We'd be fine.
Would we? Have you seen the price of groceries in Canada?
Yeah, but you get paid in a different scale. Like, if I'm being forced to move somewhere and it's Canada, well, we can manage. If we're going to Mexico, probably not going to manage as well.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I can't deal with heat.
Well, and you're gonna have to figure out how to get in on with the cartel, so you don't have to spend all your money protecting yourself.
Cuba, you got the embargo, so we're not going there. South America is totally out of the question.
I don't want to go to Europe.
If I go to Europe, I'm going to
visit.
Germany, but
Yeah.
Germany is still
Right.
expensive.
Yeah,
I could probably do England.
I wouldn't want to have to move my whole family there. Visit for sure, but
Oh God,
I don't want to have to
I wouldn't
move my.
want to. If I had to,
If you had to unexpectedly
stay out of India.
relocate to another country,
Guess I'd go to California.
it's not another country.
Bullshit.
Probably do Finland.
The Scandinavian countries are probably the most attractive to me.
Norwegian women.
And them Viking bitches that'll beat your ass, huh?
Oh, I'd like it.
Ooh, like Greenland.
Yeah.
That would be, or Iceland.
Switzerland. Be neutral.
I'd probably do Austria.
Austria?
Austria. I could probably do Austria.
Yeah, that's all like Belgium, Austria, Germany. That's all right there together.
Yeah.
See, that's the issue. Is like we've been talking about even going on a vacation. You're talking about moving to one of them. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even want to go to a vacation to them right now, let alone move to it.
Why don't you want a vacation there?
I don't really want to go anywhere right now. Whole world's falling apart. I like my little capsule that I stay in.
I mean, you live in one of the least safest towns in the upper Midwest.
I know, but I don't leave my house that often.
So, okay, we change this then. Change it to a state.
Okay.
What state would you move to?
If you unexpectedly had to move,
Yeah.
but you could pick the state, where would you go?
Montana, Wyoming,
Expensive.
wide open.
It is wide open, but very expensive because of that wide openness. Everybody owns lots of acres.
2 seasons. There's the mud season and the snow season.
That sounds amazing.
I would go to probably coastal Texas.
Oh, so like
I've actually looked into this. I'd probably go Gulf of Mexico. I would go
Gulf
somewhere in
Shores
there.
area or something.
so like Houston.
Yeah, there was a place that's not too far away from Houston. It's about 50 miles or so that I looked into, and it's actually pretty cheap down there. It's very comparable to South Bend, but it's got a population of maybe like 60,000 people.
Yeah,
It's a small coastal town, and it's very small, and that's what I would want. Something small, but near the beach.
yeah.
Something you
Right
could,
near the beach,
Yep.
boy.
and the prices aren't high. You don't have income tax either down there in Texas, so yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. Florida, Texas. Where else has no state income tax?
about all I know.
Yeah,
Think-
those are the most popular ones. I'm sure there's others. Though,
It's like
right?
Washington,
There's
I
gotta be.
think.
I think there's like 8 states that don't have income tax, but
So I think southern Alaska,
9 states.
just because I like the temperatures that they get. Now it is cold and snowy early, but
it's
doesn't
dark
get
too, isn't it?
Some. That's why southern Alaska. It is dark. It is dark all winter long, but not like it's like you do get a duskiness. It's not complete blackness year round.
So as of 2023, there's 9 states that don't have
Let
income
Alaska be
tax. Number 1, Alaska.
Right.
Alaska, Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming.
Then that makes some sense why more people are moving to Wyoming, not just
Right.
the TV show driving people there. It is beautiful. There's no state income tax, but it is pricey. Very pricey. Anything up there in the north left is really expensive.
North.
All right, you ready for another one? What
Not
state
100%
what
sure.
state would you not go to at all? Even if you were
California.
paid to do it, because like some states will pay you. Alaska will pay you to relocate there. So
California.
I mean, if I had to pick right now, California would be on number 1. New York, well, depends on the part of New York too, though. Like,
If you're not on Manhattan Island, I'm fine. I could go upstate New York or middle
Right.
New York.
So I think I would go another part of the country than you guys. Don't
if
get
it
me
says
wrong.
Oregon,
No, no, that's north left.
South right.
I totally want to visit here. I totally want to visit, but I would not want to live there as Louisiana. Seems awful to me. Hot, muggy, gators, snakes, lots of killer animals. Like, no. I could also move to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Like, I could see myself there as well.
I could also see myself going to Louisiana, becoming a hitman, though, and just feeding bodies to alligators and stuff.
Oh, I got to interrupt this. I got exciting news just now.
All right.
My new pickleball shoes were just delivered.
There are pickleball shoes?
I have pickleball shoes, yes.
They're specifically made for
pickleballing.
pickleballing?
Yes. By most tennis shoe companies. So they're K-Swiss, so obviously. Yeah.
What if your family faced a tornado or some natural disaster?
Had that.
You did?
Well, kind of, yeah.
The tree that came through his house?
Yeah.
What?
You don't remember that?
No.
Oh, because that was probably before I knew you. It was when Will was still a baby. Shannon was pregnant with Mac. And we went, what was it? It was November. I think it was November 10th or something like that. We're just sitting there. We put up Will for his afternoon nap.
Which means he was going to do it.
And we're sitting there watching Sherlock Holmes. And the next thing you know, they just see the trash bins go across the sliding glass door just past him. And Shannon's like, go get Will, get downstairs. I ran upstairs to...
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, I ran upstairs. Went into our bedroom first to close the window because there was a window open. And I just remember seeing the rain go up.
Oh.
And it was coming off the roof.
Oh.
And, yeah, closed that, grabbed Will, who freaked out because of it, got down to the basement. No, we didn't have the cat at that time. Got to the basement, closed the door. We got to the bottom, and then you just heard it just... And it sounded like somebody pushed over, like, a china cabinet. That's what it sounded like.
Sounded like a train coming through.
For the most part. And we were only down there for maybe like 3 or 4 minutes, and then I go upstairs, and I open the door, and I don't realize it, but the basement door won't open all the way. But I close it and look. The living room's okay. Bathroom's okay. Kitchen looks okay. I go around, and our neighbor comes over, and he's banging on the door. He's like, are you guys okay? You okay? I'm like, yeah, we're okay. He's like, there's a tree in your house. I'm like, what? Run up the stairs, and as I'm coming up and can crest the stairs, I can see leaves blowing across my hallway. And I look to the right, and there's a tree in the extra bedroom, which is now Will's bedroom. Whoa. And it was we had an oak that was probably somewhere around 75 years old. 75 to 100 years old that had fallen and just gone right into it.
Holy man.
Tore out the taproot. So we were pretty sure that it was... They said there was no tornado, but there was just a line. If you look at where all the trees that were down, and it went all the way to Mishawaka, where there was just a line of all these trees that were down, and it was like, yeah, something came through.
So tornado, straight winds, something that had a lot of might.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
Man.
And it just, we were out of the house for 6 months. We didn't get back in until Easter.
No kidding.
Yeah, we spent 4 months in my aunt and uncle's house.
Holy mackerel.
Appreciative of that, and then that's where
because they were
selling their house. Yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe in Florida or something.
No, they were. This is Uncle Pat and Aunt Lori. They were selling their house. They had bought a new house, and so we kind of lived in there for a while with them, and then by ourselves. And then they were since it was getting ready to sell. We moved in with my parents for about a month or two, right after Mac was born. So Mac didn't even live in that house for some odd.
So you had babies.
Yeah.
While going, wow.
And having to go through the crap of rebuilding the house and going through people just screwing up stuff. It was a mess. It was a horrible mess.
Sounds wild. The closest we have to that, Nick, is the Indy tornado. You lived in an apartment, and I had a house at that point, but when it came through Indy...
Oh, the one that tore up a Baxter?
Yeah, knocked over the YMCA we were working for at the time, and in many neighborhoods, like the neighborhood in front of mine, gone. The neighborhood behind mine, gone. Mine, leaves and some sticks. Like, so thank God that and he asked me, he was like, can you get to my apartment, see if my dog's okay? Because would you have Burton back then?
Probably.
And I could not. Work, I'd assume, but I don't know.
Oh.
School or work or something. And because at the time I was working for the before and after school program, so I had the middle of my days a little more open. So I was able to get to my house, but after I got to my house, it was hard to go anywhere from there even. I couldn't get to his house, and just because like when neighborhoods all around you get knocked out, there's debris everywhere, and it's just crazy. But I could not imagine, like, you dealt with damage. Imagine your whole house being eliminated. One of those situations where, like, I've watched them on TikTok where people come upstairs and, like, most of their house is just gone now. Like, unbelievable.
Crazy.
All right, you ready for another what if?
Yeah. One less
All right.
sad.
What if?
What if this episode didn't end?
Do you feel like it's been running long, Nick? No, it's not. We're barely into it. What if somebody, say another adult male, not like The Rock, but just a normal adult male, called your wife a bitch in front of you or one of your kids a little fucker?
My kids, I'd go probably.
Yeah. Keep my wife's motherfucking name out of your motherfucking mouth.
Would you do
I'd
Will
walk
Smith
up on
and go
stage
up and
and smack
slap the
him.
shit out of him? Would you?
Probably not.
I think it really depends on the scenario, the situation. When we were moving, we used a storage facility for some of the stuff that we got out early. When it came time to ending our few months of renting that, me and the guy got into it, and he started talking about how dumb my wife was, and I fucking blew up on him.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I don't tell a lot of stories. I keep a lot of shit to myself.
Dude, we started a whole fucking podcast to tell this shit.
I blew up on this guy, and
only took
he then
4
started
years.
yelling at me, and I was yelling at him, and then I told him, you know what? You keep the money. It sounds like you need it more. And that pissed him off even more.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wild scenario. Man, you guys got some wild scenarios connected to this, and I didn't even run this shit by you guys. So here was the other day we were walking the dogs in the cemetery, and of course, my wife, when I'm around, is way more brave, so she's going to talk mad shit to people. There's this one asshole, it's an older guy that walks around the cemetery, and he leaves his dog off leash. And Emily thinks that's a big deal. This dog seems well behaved. It's never too far from him. I guess it's kind of skittish towards other animals, so it stays away from other animals. But she
like
just
the
yells.
bigger guy that walks like a lab in the neighborhood?
No. No,
Okay.
but he did do that. Now he's got a puppy, and he can't because it doesn't follow commands as well. But that used to make her mad as well. This is it's like a mini Doberman or something like that, or a big Chihuahua. I don't know which way it goes, but either way, that's what it looks like. And so my wife goes, "Hey, your dog's supposed to be on a leash," and he started saying some things. He was like, "It's nice to see you too," and I was like, I was just waiting for this dude to talk some mad shit, and I was gonna go slap him in his old mouth. I was just waiting. Like, Emily keeps on walking, and I'm slowing down. I'm like, please say something crazy right now. Like, I don't know what it was. I totally wanted to defend my woman in that moment.
His trigger finger started itching.
Yeah, it did. Say when.
If you're in the cemetery walking around and that's happening, that's private property, so it's you probably can do that.
What do you mean?
If it's private property,
Yeah.
unless they have it posted, yeah, you don't have to have a dog on the leash.
No, it says...
It does?
Yeah, it
Okay,
says
then
all
yeah.
dogs must be leashed, yeah. This is what I know about this what if, is this is one of my triggers, and that's why I put it in there. You talk shit to my wife or kids, and I go red. I have a real hard time with this one.
For me, it just depends on what you're talking shit about. I know Shannon will go off real quick, because there's times where she'll hear people saying shit and think it's about one of our kids, and she will. I'm more like, it's words. I'll get over it. If they keep it going, and I'll tell them to stop. If they don't stop, that's when shit's going to happen. I'm more chill like that.
What would trigger you?
That's just when, usually when my biggest trigger has been with Will. If they start going into his, any of his disabilities or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like the other two, I'm like, no,
That's actually
they're
my
like-
next what if. Is
they're like me. So.
What if your child experienced bullying or harassment from another child?
Oh, Shannon will go off. I'm like it's a kid.
For me, it's another one of those, like, it's situational. Like, Graham being bullied on the bus by the one kid that was there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Graham, you're twice the kid's fucking size, and he put his hands on you, finish it.
Right.
Yeah, that shit.
But my kid's too soft to do it.
I would definitely be talking up on that shit. If somebody's just making fun of him, I'm like, dude, just fucking calm. You have to bleep that one out.
Do I?
Will's language skills have gotten really good now that he's in middle school, so
Nice.
he says some funny.
Good thing he's in public school,
He
huh?
says some funny shit.
There was one teacher that I felt like bullied both of my boys.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it was me.
No.
Fucking giving them D's and C's.
No, even Ian said the other day he's got this new. I can't think of who his male teacher is that he has currently, but he's like, man, I don't know if him or Noak is my favorite. And I'm like, oh, I was like, that's sweet. All right, what if your child was bullying another's?
My daughter is a bully.
Mostly to her brother, though.
No, probably her friends at school too.
I don't see my kids doing that.
I don't see Graham doing it at all.
I know
He's
Mackie
too
wouldn't.
soft of a kid.
Gus wouldn't. Will might.
Ian's a bully.
Well, when it comes between them, though, this is one of the big things. I'm like, let them fight it out. Let them beat the crap out of each other. And Gus is finally getting to the point where, he said this last night. He was messing with his brothers, and Mac, his best defense is, I'm going to bite you. And he will leave marks. And Gus will be like, well, I deserved it.
See, and that's so if my kids are together, my daughter can bully my son, but nobody else can.
That's how Will is with...
As much as she is a bee to him, she's also very protective of her brother.
So she can beat him up, but nobody else can.
Right.
All right, that's good.
That's how Will is with
And
Gus, but not Mac.
You know, as much as Graham and Ian have fought in their lives,
Right.
Ian wanted to tear that kid on the bus apart just because of that. Now, Ian had problems with him too, but not nearly the amount that Graham had.
Well, because Graham's an easy target.
He wanted to tear him apart. He was like, Dad, one day I'm just going to punch him in his face. I'm like, chill out, dude. I'm like, let's not get you kicked out of school. Like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. But I get where you're coming from. Like, I totally get it.
So when that whole thing went down with Graham, when the whatever director, dean of students or whatever the hell they call them now instead of guidance counselors, calls our house and he's like, this is going to sound very unprofessional, but I thought your kid was the bully because he was double his size. Yeah. I will stand up for you. And the only reason Graham didn't want to fight back, I don't want to get kicked out of student council.
All right, what if one of your children wanted to join the military?
Go for it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All the dumb wars we get into and picking fights where we don't need them. I would try and discourage it.
I would try to discourage them, but I also back our military, and if that's the choice they want to make.
That's true. I do support our military. I'm glad there's people out there that can do that. I don't think I could. Having said that, the other day, Carly asked me, if somebody hurt me, would you kill them? And I'm like, well, what do you mean by hurt? And she was like,
gave you a scratch because they walked past you and scratched
she goes, what if they sexually hurt me or physically hurt me, like broke a bone or tried to kill me? And I was like,
I'd be in jail.
That's what I said. I was like, I would slit their throats and shit down their throats. And my wife's like, whoa, that's a bit much. I'm like, is it? Like, because again, that's my trigger.
I would smile in my
wife
mugshot.
or kids.
I would smile in my mugshot.
Yeah. Did you do it? I did do it. I called the police on myself.
So a TikTok of a guy standing there, he's in his orange jumpsuit from jail and everything. Well, why did you kill your roommate? He kept trying to tell me how he was in there and he was there for child molestation, and I told him to be quiet, and said he didn't shut up, so he was a little bigger than I am, so I slid down off of my bed and just beat the shit out of him till he was dead.
That's dark, though, huh?
That
was dark. All right. What if your family decided to renovate a building or build your dream house?
I'm in my dream house.
You are?
No.
I would love to renovate a building. I would love to renovate a downtown building.
I'd say, to do what, though? Like, housing? Just make it like a family compound type thing?
I would turn it into something that would be useful for that area, like another restaurant or something. Like, when I'm talking like small town like Napanee or like Lakeville, right here outside of the Lakeville Brew Crew. But those old building fronts.
Insert commercial here. Are you tired of the same old beer leaving your taste buds yawning? Well, fam, secure your hoppiness with a taste bud exploration waiting for you at the Lakeville Brew Crew.
That's right. Nestled in the heart of cozy little Lakeville, Indiana, the Lakeville Brew Crew is your ticket for craft beer, nostalgia, and small town hospitality.
Picture this. A sip of their sweet chocolate and caramel milk stout, Bullwinkle's Quest, and suddenly you're transported back to simpler times when life was as easy as Sunday morning, eating that breakfast, watching your morning cartoons, and the only worry was Bullwinkle going to finally pull a rabbit out of his hat.
And let's not forget Total Wattage, Orange IPA. It's like a nostalgic hug from your favorite childhood Muppet, with a hoppy twist that'll make your taste buds dance the truffle shuffle like Chunk from Goonies.
Whether you're a seasoned beer drinker or just dipping your toes into the craft beer pond, the LBC's brews are crafted with love, laughter, and a hint of that good old Lakeville charm.
So what are you waiting for? Grab your beer drinking buddies and join us at the Lakeville Brew Crew, 124 South Michigan Street, 46536, where every pint is a journey down memory lane and every sip is a toast to good times.
Cheers to that.
And remember, drink responsibly, but laugh like you heard your favorite fart joke.
Okay, now that we're back from our commercial,
Thank you. That makes editing so much easier.
Like taking the old Beamer's building across the street?
yeah, like I mean, you could probably still live there in the back, but you could take that building and turn it into something new. And I'm not necessarily a restaurant would do something here, but turn it into something that could be used.
How awesome would that be for, like, when you look across the street here and you see all that glass open area, that be the tap room?
Yeah.
And the brew being the...
Ooh.
I bet you that'd be a lot of work to renovate that fucking thing, though.
Well, as I drive, I'm with you, Noak, is I would rather renovate something than try and build, because I think that would lead to the divorce between Emily and I, trying to figure out what we wanted in a house. Like when I'm telling her I want a basement podcast studio, and she was like, "That's not important." Like, yeah,
To
why
you?
do we need 4 bedrooms? Like,
We
we're
could easily
we're
build
done.
a podcast room up there.
Oh
and
man. Like when I drive into South Bend, I love those old buildings, like the old South Bend Bank and those buildings
Yeah.
as you just go under the viaduct there by the bus station. I love those buildings. There is not a chance in hell that I would buy one of them and renovate it, though, because it's going to get broken into. But
There's
so
homeless
you would
people
have to
around there?
come to like this, go to New Carlisle or Lakeville or somewhere like that.
Yeah, or like even these other little towns in like Indiana where they have these dead downtowns, but they have these gorgeous buildings, and I would love to live in a place like that. Like
Yeah.
that's my thing. Because Shannon's always like, "Do you want to move to Wacky or to Napanee?" And I'm like, "We'd be away from all our family, but if we're gonna do it, I don't want to move into a house. I want to move into."
Right.
I want to be downtown where you can do walking and you can go to everything and you can do stuff.
Right.
Because if I'm going to drive for something, I want to make it worthwhile.
So you're just the opposite of me. I want somewhere where I have a shit ton of land, can put my own shooting range and my own gardens and things, and kind of live off the grid.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to have like a newer build house, but I would want it old style,
Yeah.
like Victorian style,
Yeah.
like the big wraparound porch, all that
Oh, yeah.
stuff. Yeah. The turret. That'd be awesome. But if you can get an old brick-faced building that you can do work to and gut it and get a couple of them next to each other where you're living in one and the other one's your business, and
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
That
I would
be so
love to
cool.
do that.
Yeah. Me too. Or live above it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be so cool. All right, so before we sign off, gentlemen, any okayest advice that comes from the what if questions?
And what I learned today, I learned that we can get really dark sometimes. These what if questions.
Just
one
when it
little-
comes to our families.
I think we need to do a what if that's more humorous.
All right. I was trying to be helpful, make people think, because this
But
is the
it
kind of
is.
shit I think about is like, what if bad things happen? How do you recover from those? Because that's hard.
Yeah, it is. I feel like I'm going through it right now. But it's not dark, let me tell you. It's not dark.
All right. All right. So what if we did start to close the...
If you're feeling ambidextrous,
You know, when you're playing with yourself, you can use both hands.
email us at the okayesthusbands@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button and download button and join us for more laughs at the mishaps. And we're trying to get up some videos. They're not going to be great videos, but you can always check us out on YouTube. We do have our YouTube channel up now.
Keep listening from your favorite podcast app for more of the Okayest Husbands. And remember, happy spouse, happy house.
Oh.
All right. Bye for now, fam, and remember to keep it okayest. Love you.